Hello viewers, hello everyone. I welcome you back to the channel and thank you so much for joining me again. This is Mr. Razak series, your mathematics and chemistry tutor under the Science Bridge Africa. Yes, in our previous segment we looked at the first part of the assessment objectives, and now in this session we are going to be focusing on the last two assessment objectives and also clarify on the paper structure by breaking down what examiners expect from us and how you can probably score highly in this examination. Briefly, before we move forward, we said that chemistry in the advanced secondary curriculum has been designed with three assessment objectives, and these assessment objectives have been based on constructs. And we defined a construct as an abstract representation of a unifying theme that brings coherency to an assessment task, and it basically serves as a generalized concept that combines a cluster of related learning outcomes or competences, or you can call them topics, each contributing to a common learning ability. So in our first segment, we looked at assessment objective 1, which involved demonstration and understanding of atomic and molecular structure, periodic trends, and chemical reactivity across the periodic table, based on construct or formation of atomic structure, bonding, and periodicity of elements. And the topics under this construct under assessment objective 1 included atomic and electronic structure, bonding and structure, periodicity 1 and the periodicity 2. So moving forward, let's now look at assessment objective 2. Assessment objective 2 focuses on analysis of the structure, reactivity, and the transformation pathways of organic compounds to predict behavior and also explain natural processes and propose solutions in real-world and innovative chemical contexts. When you look closely, you realize that assessment objective 2 is all about organic chemistry. And the topics under this construct include organic chemistry 1, organic chemistry 2, and organic chemistry 3. So organic chemistry has been divided into 3 segments, and we need to know what is required of us from each of the segments. When you look at organic chemistry 1, it is actually the 6th topic, and it deals with the analysis of structure and functional groups and reactivity of organic compounds, and also applying knowledge of organic reactions and mechanisms to synthesize our desired compounds. And then too, we have organic chemistry 2, which is actually our 9th topic under this curriculum. And the organic chemistry 2 focuses on analyzing reaction pathways and conditions that favor these reactions, and then design multi-step syntheses to achieve target or desired organic compounds. In other words, organic chemistry 2 is all about synthesizing organic compounds. So finally, about the assessment objective 2, there is what we call organic chemistry 3. And organic chemistry 3 is actually the 12th topic under this curriculum, and it focuses on analyzing chemical properties and industrial applications and environmental impacts of amines and polymers by proposing sustainable and innovative solutions to reduce on the harm that comes from the use of these organic compounds. So, in other words, the organic chemistry 3 deals with what we call the applied chemistry, where we look at the polymers, and then and that marks the end of our assessment objective 2. So now let us look at our last assessment objective, which is assessment objective 3 under the chemistry syllabus. So under this assessment objective, we focus on applying fundamental physical and chemical principles to analyze the model and also predict the behavior of chemical systems and their transformation. So the construct under this assessment objective 3 focuses on molecular interaction and system dynamics, and also the use of physical and chemical principles to interpret and predict the behavior of chemical systems and their transformation under different conditions. So topics under this construct of the assessment objective 3, we have mole concept, which is the first topic of the syllabus. We have thermochemistry, which is the 5th topic of the syllabus, and then we have equilibria 1, which is the 7th topic. But under equilibria 1, we have topics like chemical equilibria and then ionic equilibria. Then we have equilibria 2, which is the 8th topic of the syllabus, and under equilibria 2 we have physical equilibria, and then we have colligative properties, and then we have electrochemistry as the 10th topic of the syllabus, and then reaction kinetics, or what we call the rates of reactions. So when you look keenly, you realize that assessment objective 3 is all about the physical chemistry, and then a learner should obtain abilities of performing stoichiometric analysis, interpreting experimental data, solving quantitative chemical problems, and then applying analytical principles to solve real-world problems, and that's obtained from a topic of mole concept. A learner also learns how to construct and analyze energy profile diagrams. That's where we shall look at the Born-Haber cycles and then the energy level diagrams. A learner also learns to apply Hess's law in multi-step chemical reactions, use of thermochemical equations to solve enthalpy problems, and that's under thermochemistry. A learner also learns how to predict phase changes using the knowledge of physical equilibria, and then analyzing colligative properties based on solute concentration. A learner also learns how to apply the Le Chatelier's principle to predict equilibria shifts, solving equilibrium problems involving Kc and Kp, and that's under the chemical equilibria. And then finally, a learner is expected to be able to solve quantitative problems involving pH and buffer capacities, and that's under a topic of ionic equilibria. And then solving problems involving redox equations and EMF of the cells, plus the feasibility of the reactions, and that's basically electrochemistry. And then a learner should learn how to determine reaction rates and propose mechanisms for these reactions, and that's basically the rate of reactions, or what we call the reaction kinetics. And so that marks the end of our assessment objectives, and now we ought to look at the paper structure as proposed by UNEP. But before, I remind you to subscribe if you haven't, and enjoy our upcoming videos as we shall be delving into the different aspects of science. Briefly about the chemistry paper structure as per the UNEP standards. Chemistry has 2 examination papers at the advanced secondary curriculum, and each examination paper is divided into 2 sections, with each section addressing an assessment objective. So paper 1, which is our theory paper, contains 2 sections, that's section A and B. Items in section A come from construct 3, where we have molecular interactions and system dynamics, and that addresses assessment objective 3. So under this construct, that's where we have the physical chemistry, topics like mole concept, topics like equilibria 1, equilibria 2, thermochemistry, electrochemistry, and then the reaction kinetics. And then section B has 2 parts. In part 1, 2 items are obtained from construct 1, where we have foundation of atomic structure and periodicity of elements. And here a student or a candidate responds to any one item, and that addresses assessment objective 1. And items of part 2 of section B come from construct 2, where we have structure, reactivity and application of organic molecules, in other words organic chemistry, where a candidate here responds to any one item, and that addresses assessment objective 2. It should however be noted that the items in the paper are scenario based, and the entire paper takes 2 hours and 45 minutes. And finally, we have paper 2, which is our practical paper. So this paper contains 2 compulsory items picked from any of the 3 constructs. This paper tests science process skills in the 3 assessment objectives, and the entire paper takes 3 hours and 15 minutes. This brings us to the end of our chemistry segment. Thank you so much for watching and being part of the session. I remain Mr. Razak Series, your mathematics and chemistry tutor under the Science Bridge Africa. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss our upcoming videos, where we shall be delving deeper in other science aspects. Thank you so much. God bless you.